by me. First question, what do you remember about the dawn of the computer revolution in the 1970s?
I remember the Commodore 64, which was the first friggin' computer I ever had. It was great. We could play Jeopardy on it. Not much faster than you could with a physical game.
Oh yeah, that leads us to the next computer. Like, when did you get your first computer, and how, if it did it impact your life?
Well, let me tell you. Not the first computer I bought, but the first computer I dealt with. It was, God, I think it was in the early 90s. We were starting our little political rebellion in Portchester, New York, and we were working.
Jada Hayden, please report to main office. Jada Hayden,
Technology.
please report to main office. Thank you.
And it was word processor, and I'll never forget Danny Tartaglia, the lawyer, is sitting there showing me how you can type and edit and change words, and you didn't have to use self-correcting selectric tape on an IBM typewriter, and wow, it was amazing. We could take words and play around with the editing. It was incredible, okay? Rather than write it out by hand and then type it or compose while typing, it allowed unbelievable editing, which of course has not improved one iota the quality of what people write.
So, ooh, commentary. So
Yes.
how did people react when computers became more widespread? Like your friends
How
and your
did they
family?
react?
Like how
They
did...
certainly didn't learn to ask more specific questions.
So how necessary do you think was the computer revolution?
How necessary? It wasn't
Yeah.
necessary at all. I mean, it was nice, and it's great, and it's convenient, but necessary? I mean, what does it really change? It certainly hasn't taught you to think ahead, since you had to stop this interview to delete storage in your phone. I mean, come on, Emily. So we can do things faster, so if people are stupid, they can be stupid faster. Ooh, now there's an improvement in our quality of life.
So why do you think computers are important?
Why do I think they are important?
If you do.
Well, I think computers are important. Any new technological tool is important, okay? But it's not as important as people think. People in education today think the technology will change how people learn. No, it won't change how people learn. One of the greatest advancements in technology when we went from the quill pen to the ballpoint didn't change the way people learn. Ooh, we were able to record sound. It didn't change the way people learn. Ooh, we were able to record images. It didn't change the way people learned. And it certainly didn't make them any more intelligent, because the people who are running education haven't learned that friggin' lesson yet. And they are all going, oh, it's gonna change the way people learn. It's gonna make it easier for them to learn, but it's not gonna make them learn. Look at, you guys see some of my classes. In fact, it might have, and I'm fearful of this, it might have had a negative effect. It made people too lazy, and now they don't feel compelled to learn.
So do you think it was different when you were a student without computers?
Yeah, it was harder. I mean, now it's about the brain. Physically, we've become softer, and this is, I don't think is really debatable, when it was harder to do things physically. Labor-saving devices have made us physically softer. Okay, right?
Yes.
Now, the thing I fear most is that the computer will make this muscle softer, which, as Mr. Duckworth over there will attest to, that it certainly is happening. Is it not, Mr. Duckworth?
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, Rocca, I just live there listening. I agree with everything you said.
Well, thank you.
Yes, thank you. So how would you think your life would have been different without the growth of technology as a teacher?
my life would have been different as a teacher without the growth of technology? Well, not a whole heck of a lot different. Just a little easier and faster. It's nice having a screen where I can get on a computer and get information to people faster and show them images. But, you know, it's just information. We used to put information on pieces of paper and bind them up into, what did they call those things, Jimmy?
Envelopes?
Books.
Books.
Okay. And it was just it doesn't cause kids to think any better. It doesn't cause them to learn any better. Having it just a little more convenient to get information. Did we do the book comment?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, that's all it really does.
So,
Okay, it's faster and easier. It's a convenience. It hasn't changed anything inherently, the nature of it. And if students don't understand that, so it's
so you feel that like
understand.
the transition from like floppy disks to external hard drives and USBs, like that hasn't been beneficial at all?
It's, of course, it's about as beneficial as the transition from pencils to click pens to flare markers. All right? Increase the technology hasn't changed the essence of using lines on a surface to indicate sounds and thoughts, called language. There's nothing inherently different. It's just a little faster and easier.
So do you think that there'll be another technological revolution?
There'll always be technological revolutions. There will always be, as long as we're doing technology. But that certainly hasn't changed human nature.
Do you think it's changed history for the better?
There are some any technology, there have been certainly technological changes that have been so overwhelming that, yeah, they did change history. Say, for example, the splitting of the atom. I mean, fortunately, and I lived during this, it convinced people that we couldn't use nuclear weapons, and I hope they've learned that lesson because I lived through the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Yeah.
And even as an 11-year-old, I was scared out of my wits, okay? Because the world was literally on the brink of destruction.
But I mean, the growth of the internet even brought worldwide communities together, and it
Yeah,
blew
and-
up the American economy.
Yeah,
Like, what do you
and-
have to say about that?
And it will speed up the process, okay? Because we can do things faster or better. But let me ask you something. Are people, even though it has increased communication, are people still fighting and killing each other? Are people still starving? Has it made children in the United States more cognizant and aware of what people are like in the rest of the world? Well, guess what? One of the things I've noticed about my students is they are so ignorant of geography of any kind. And we've got a school system that doesn't even require them to learn it. I mean, come on.
Thanks.
Yeah. What's going on here? You would think that the internet making the world more interdependent would have increased the impetus for people to learn about other cultures in the rest of the world. Has it? I don't think so.
Is there
Proves my point.
Is there anything that I haven't asked about that you think I should know?
Yeah, a whole list of things, but I'll get them to you sometime before I die, Emily. This is called wisdom. Now, whether we pass it along with my writing it down on a piece of paper or putting it on a Word document you're saving in your flash drive around your neck and treasuring it for the rest of your life, doesn't matter. There's a difference between data and knowledge and wisdom, the ability to take data, interpret it, and learn from it. And whether we do it fast on the internet or slow in books, it's just a question of time and speed.
All right. Thank you for the interview. was a pleasure.